When the New York Jets and New York Giants took the field against each other at their shared home of MetLife Stadium, many assumed that would be the biggest rivalry of the year played in East Rutherford. That is hardly the case, however, and that's because the most meaningful game of the year to be played at MetLife isn't between the teams that call it home. It's between a couple of small Division III schools from upstate New York, and every year those two small schools combine over 60 years of rivalry into one Saturday for the biggest little game in the nation. However, this year, the game will have an even bigger stage. This year, the two NFL teams from New Jersey will share their home with the Ithaca College Bombers and SUNY Cortland Red Dragons, as the 2019 Cortaca Jug will take place at MetLife Stadium in front of a record number of fans, the most ever for a Division III football game. For every player, this game is the opportunity of a lifetime, but for a handful of players, the game means a little bit more. As the year-long anticipation of this year's Cortaca Jug swiftly approaches, and students, family, and alumni make their travel arrangements and prep for the cool November weather, I sat down with the senior captains of the Ithaca College football team to discuss what this game means to them. We're here with the senior captains from the Ithaca College football team, and obviously, guys, the big story this year, we're playing at MetLife. You guys are playing at MetLife. You guys got the chance this summer to walk around and, kind of take a little tour with your coach, and the Cortland captains and their coach had the opportunity to be there too. Can you talk a little bit about what that was like, and maybe are you able to imagine what it's going to be like to have 40,000 plus people there?
I know with it being empty, I was pretty overwhelmed. It's definitely exciting. When we went down there this summer, I think we had a lot of fun, just hanging out. It was kind of the first time we got to see each other this summer, so we were all excited. I don't know if I can really picture with 45,000 fans in it, though, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was pretty hot that day, too.
Cool.
We've had full pads, but it'll definitely be different being, 40 degrees tomorrow. But, it was really cool getting to go in the locker room and everything and just exploring the field.
So take me back a little bit also to your first Cortaca that you guys played in. What were some of the things that were told to you maybe by some of the upper class guys? What did they tell you about the game, and did it live up to the hype for you guys?
My first Cortaca that I played in was sophomore year, and I just thought it'd be a big game with a lot. I played in a big game in high school every Thanksgiving, but you don't really understand the magnitude of it until you actually get out there, and you actually when you're out there you feel the hate towards Cortland and kind of the respect too, but it was definitely pretty crazy. I couldn't believe how serious people took it. It's just a faceless opponent, some random team, but it definitely means a little more.
Yeah, my first quarter game was freshman year, 2016, and same thing as Mike said. But you don't really realize it until you get on the field and you can't even hear yourself think. There's 10, 15,000 fans screaming and you can't communicate with the guy next to you, and then, you just feel that, that rivalry kick in, mid-game. It's pretty cool.
Talk about the magnitude of this game, and it also being your last one, and now it being played on the biggest stage possible. Have you guys had a moment to kind of step back and reflect on your 4 years here with the program, and also it being your last Cortaca game?
Yeah, we've definitely been talking about it ever since the start of season. Nick and I live together, so we're always talking about, is our last season, we just got to give it our all, and now it's winding down. And it's sad, and it's flown by, but we've had a lot of fun, and we've really developed together, and I'm excited for this opportunity, especially with all my brothers, and we're just going to go out guns blazing.
Yeah, I know it's funny. Me and Mike always joke around. After we're done with practice, we just look over at the Cayuga Lake and everything. We just take it all in. I said it today too. You're just looking at the sky, and we're like, just take it in.
It's a heck of a view.
It's incredible.
It's great. But we definitely think about it. And now since it has been coming down, like we all said, it's we're just trying to have fun out there now, and just be Cortland, obviously.
And this question I want to ask to Nick specifically, but you guys can totally chime in on this also. But you kind of touched on it in the last question, but your dad played here, your brother played here. So for you especially, what does it mean to you to be a Bomber?
Ever since I was a little kid and my dad was coaching me Pee Wee football, he always had Ithaca stuff on, and all I heard about was Ithaca football. And, then growing up, my brother and sister decided to come here. My sister actually played volleyball for Ithaca, and my Uncle Jason played here, my mom's brother. And, you know, I grew up in a Bomber household, so, I mean, I'd say I was forced to come to Ithaca, but I always wanted to come to Ithaca.
John, this next one's for you here, but so obviously, I mean, you've had no shortage of awards on the field, you know, but I wanted to highlight a few of them. 2 times you were named to the Liberty League All-Academic team, and then the COSIDA Academic All-District Award. You got that twice, too. And then I saw also you were nominated, I think it was this year, for the William Campbell Trophy, which is given to the player who combines, you know, on-the-field excellence and also in the classroom. Is that something that you personally strive for and that you take pride in here at Ithaca?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a pre-med major, so I definitely am trying my best. I'm trying to get into med school right now, so you know, putting my best foot forward in the classroom is definitely something I take personally, and then also it helps, you know, my guys, like when they see that I'm striving on the field and I'm striving in the classroom, that they can look up to that. I know, like, also Kyle over there, he has a very hard major. He's an athletic training major, and he's doing the same thing. Like, you know, we're striving on the field, we're captains, we're trying to do everything right in the field, but like getting it done in the classroom is also really important. So I think, and you know, we all kind of take that personally. Like, we just want to be able to lead, you know, especially underclassmen who may not know the magnitude of, you know, academics as well. Like, we're student athletes, and we're not paid to play sports here, so we're students first. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really important. And Kyle and Michael, chatting a little bit about this obviously before, but you know, you guys weren't necessarily recruited to come here and play football, and now senior year, you're senior captains. You know, talk a little bit about what, you know, how did that journey, you know, take place, and what you know, looking back on it now, what's that like?
Yeah, so like out of high school, like, I wasn't really like recruited for like, well, I was recruited like at some other schools, but I couldn't really get in based on whatever happened. But I pretty much gave up on trying to play college football, and then just for some reason my dad applied me to Ithaca College. Really easy apply, to click a button.
Yeah.
And I got in, and then because he had a buddy who played like in the '80s who played football here, so he said like try it out, like email the coach. So I emailed one of the coaches, and he didn't get back to me at all. And then I was like, all right, whatever. I waited like 3 weeks. I emailed Coach Welch, the head coach at the time. And yeah, he replied, and he said, yeah, you can come play. And so then I kind of came in here with a chip on my shoulder, and me and Kyle talk about all the time. Excuse me, Kyle and I talk about it all the time. We have this thing called Underdogs on Top. Ever since freshman year, man, we'd be talking about how we're going to make it, and it worked out.
There you are. Kyle, we're going to stay on you real quick here. So looking back at your roster pictures through the years, you've had no shortage of interesting facial hair. You know, you had the flow last year too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was pretty impressed with that.
We had mixed views on that.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved it.
I had to cut it.
He did cut it.
Who had to cut the middle
no,
here? That's what yeah, what's the decision-making process when you decide to shave the middle of your chin and leave everything else going down
Chops.
the side? Yeah, some real mutton chops there.
I just want, you know, have fun with it. And why not?
This last one's for all of you, but you know, we're talking about closure here. It's your last season. What are your plans for after college? You know, where can we see all our senior captains after graduation?
I just want to get a job, man. I don't know. I mean, somewhere in finance.
Yeah.
Yeah, asset management, commercial real estate, but
Nice.
yeah.
Awesome.
I'm shooting for med school. I applied a few weeks ago, so I'm just waiting to hear back from that.
Absolutely.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to be working with my old man and my brother. Those
All right.
2 Ithaca alum, too. So that's the
Good
plan.
boys stay together.
And I'll be, I'm going to try to get into a PT graduate school. I got to take a couple prereqs first, but so I'll be working in a physical therapy office, but I'll be trying to do that.
Awesome. Thank you so much for doing it with me, guys.
Yeah,
And,
thanks
I
for having
appreciate
us.
your time, and
Thank you.
good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Awesome.